Okay, this video is going to start diving into the 5 dplyr commands, and this video is going to do filter, select, and arrange. So this is literally right where we left off last time. So let me share my screen here again. So right where we were last time, I've loaded in the 2 packages. I loaded in the Titanic survival data set. I renamed it Titan so that we could mess with it. And then we checked it out in a couple of ways. So this first command, filter, just looks at variables that we might be interested in. So Titan alive is going to be assigned to be a new name. And in it, we're going to filter out from Titan, so our data set, and survived is equal to yes. So as soon as we enter that in, we can see that over here, we now have 2 data sets, Titan, which has 1,309 individuals, and Titan alive, which has 500 individuals. So presumably 500 people survived the Titanic. If we do the summary command of Titan, you can see that 809 didn't survive and 500 did. And if we do Titan alive, the summary of that one, you can see 500 people survived and none didn't survive. Notice that I use the double equal sign here. The double equal sign is actually very important. This is called a logical equivalent or a logical equal sign. And it's a special kind of equal sign. Computer science people care about this a lot. But we have 3 different kinds of equal signs that we use. We use the assignment command, which is this arrow in the line. You can actually use a single equal sign there sometimes, but since it doesn't always work, I think it's cleaner to use this assignment arrow. It also makes it clear that it assigns it only in the one direction. Logical equivalence, which is this double equal sign. Notice that it's nice to have 2 different ones because now you can kind of see how this double equal sign is a logical one, meaning we only want it if it is true. And then a regular equal sign is just for local assignment. And we'll use that, but the idea there is that it's only equal for the purposes of this one command. We'll do that inside models like regression and stuff later. So notice that we can now click on here to check it out. You can see survive still exists. It still has 2 levels, even though no one is in there. And so filter is a pretty nice thing to do that gives us that. So we could also do Titan young. And so now we're going to do filter again. But now instead we're going to do age is less than or equal to 21. So that's going to give us all the young people that were on the Titanic. So when we do that filter, notice we don't need a double equals here because less than is always logical. And now if we check this out, you can see again we have the same levels, but now all the old people like me, have been removed. If we look at the summary of Titan young, you can now see that some people survived and some people didn't. You can see these happen. Now you can see the range only goes from the same 2-month-old all the way up to a 21-year-old who was the left one. Because we had the equal sign right, it was there. You can see many of the younger people were in 3rd class. Now we could do this all day. We could make subsets of our subsets. We could make subsets of big data sets. The data set isn't really giant. This particular one only has 1,300 some. Now that's not nothing. Certainly if you're thinking of intro stats where you had to do formulas on things, 1,300 is a lot. But in the sense of big data, it's not actually many. You could imagine if you had a couple million rows that using filter in order to get fewer people in your data set was going to make R run a lot faster. It's going to make it quicker to get your conclusions, your graphs, your whatever. You could even imagine that maybe you're going to make your output on a phone. And so you're going to be using Wi-Fi, you're going to be using some kind of slower internet. So the idea of filtering the variables before you send it out is going to make things go a lot faster. Okay, go into my slides, you can see here that the idea of filter is just to take the particular individuals and pick the ones who meet a certain criterion. The second command we're going to talk about today is called arrange. The idea here is that we're just going to take them based on some variable and we're going to arrange them from smallest to biggest. So if we go to our data set here, you can see maybe we still want to look at Titan alive. And we're going to just keep it as its own name. Titan alive. But now we're going to arrange it by age. And if we do that, you'll see that nothing has changed. And in fact, over here, it's still 500 observations of 4 variables. But now you can see that the youngest people are in there. So the 2-month-old is at the beginning, and the 80-year-old will be at the end of the list. Of course, the 80-year-old we can't see because it's way at the end of the 500 survivors. Now, if we wanted to arrange the other way, we can do that. I'm just going to copy and paste this. We can use the parameter called descending. And so we just put DESC inside of it. We need a second parenthesis if we do that. And that's going to make it go from biggest to smallest. So if I do that now, you can see that nothing's changed except now the 80-year-old is listed first. Now, DESC is sort of a trick command. I feel like it's one that you wouldn't be expected to remember all the time. And that's another one that I would probably go to the cheat sheets and get some, download these and maybe even print them out so that I can find out which one they are. The one we're using right now is data transformation. So if you click that, it takes you down to here. If you download it, it gives you a PDF file right here. And you can see right here is arrange, and DESC arranges from high to low instead of low to high. So all of the commands we're talking about here today are on this cheat sheet. Now, of course, we could do this for our other things. If there we go, back on the commands. We could arrange Titan Young this way. So after we sorted it, we could copy and paste here. Arrange Titan Young to be sorted by age. Now, if we do that, of course, our highest one is now going to be 21 years old because everyone over 21 was filtered out of our data. So that's a range, and it's the second of the 5 variables. Okay, the next one up is select, and select does for columns what filter does for rows. So it's a way to pick only certain variables from your data frame. Okay, so in that sense, it's pretty straightforward and easy. So by the way, if you need to stop and you want to make some notes, like arrange allows you to sort observations from smallest to biggest, right? And you can take whatever notes you want on your file. When you do that, remember to hit save. All right, so if we think about our variables here like Titan alive, it's actually a pretty boring variable here, survived, because everyone survived. So maybe we want to take it out. So we can make Titan live for no particular reason. And we're just going to say select Titan alive. So see, I called the one live and one alive because I'm very clever, like that. And so now all we want to do is select the variables that we want. So we're going to get sex, we're going to get age, and we're going to get passenger class. Right, and I actually like having this open over here because then I remember that C for class has a capital C, and I can do that. So Titan live, when I make it now, here I've done it. Now you can see instead of 500 observations of 4 variables, I now have 500 observations of 3 variables, and survived is missing. We could do it a different way. We could do Titan live 2, and I'll make them both so we can see. Select, and now I'm going to do Titan alive, but I'm going to put a minus sign in. So minus survived. And so that just means collect everything but that variable. Oops, and I didn't put space there. There we go. So now Titan live and Titan live 2 are literally identical. So the minus sign is just a way of saying, not that one, but I want all of the other variables to be in there. So these 3 commands alone give you a lot of power to take not so awesome data sets and turn them into slightly more awesome data sets. In regular statistics, we typically don't worry about this too much. You could use the commands in Excel, but you can imagine your giant data set with 10 million rows and 1,000 columns. Anything you can do to make it smaller or clearer is going to make it faster or better to use it with. Also, you remember from the reproducibility, any of this reproduction that you can do now we have a record of what we did to our variables. So next time we open up our computer, we could start out from scratch with our data set. Or you could even imagine that you get new data. Maybe every month new sales data comes in and you have to clean it in exactly the same way. Instead of remembering how to do it in Excel, you now have a record here in this script window or in your R Markdown file. Now, there are a few other options, like you could use a colon here. So if we wanted to go from sex to passenger class, you could just put a colon here and that would select the variables that go in a row together. We can start to stack the commands together, and we're going to get to that next time along with the mutate command. That idea of stacking uses a thing called a pipe chain in order to put those together. But we're going to put that into a separate video so that these don't get too long. So I'll see you in that next video.